we always miss each other. Miss each other in Chicago.
I swear to God, I probably seen Isaac like 3 times in my entire life.
Nah, for
really?
Real. Nah, for real. Like,
but you partied together before,
the most
right?
time was Shreveport.
Yeah,
That was the most time we ever spent time together. And that was crazy.
Last one to the airport buys breakfast. Day one.
So I was in Miami one time, and I was with one of my boys that used to play football. I was done playing football. He was still playing another homie. We was at KOD, strip club, going crazy, right? So this chick, I kind of met this chick. She wasn't even a dancer. She was like, hey, well, come have a drink with me at the table, on my table. All right, it's by the restroom. I got to go there anyway. So I go there and have a drink. This dude's like, hey, who is you? I'm like, Isaac. I'm not even in the industry, but anyway. So he's like, but Buddy flexed on me like he probably about 5'8".
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this cat?
Well, okay, all right. Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. But for him to flex on me in that situation, that's what it is. You're not flexing on nobody.
Also, I don't see you at a club, and the first thing I think is, let me pull up on this
right.
guy.
So anyway, I go to. I'm thinking I'm the table. He started flexing. I'm like, all right, buddy, man, you got it. You know what I mean? So I come because he got to have something.
Yeah.
Because. Yeah,
he got the piece on him.
He got something, whatever. So like, but the way he flexed, and I looked at the chick like, all right, man, I'm out, whatever. So I go back to the table. So I'm gonna go tell my boys, hey man, hey, we just need to be, watch out. Cat up there got the tripping, and he said, man, what you doing up there for? He said, shit, we got a table here. We got bottles. What you going to somebody else's table for? I said, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He right. Yeah. He was right. Like, he caught me in the situation was like, I was mad. I'm like, he ain't got my back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was completely right. What am I doing around here going to somebody's table?
But you're very similar to me and Chris where we're social people. So, like, if you're in a spot, there's a chance that, like, we know someone in there. Of course. So we want to go see them. You know what I mean? Like, I think Michael likes kind of chilling and being, But
once we got the good setup, I'm chilling. Like, I don't got to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We got our little bottles, got our little models. We're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right. So this is what the crew has it does. We love these people that are on the podcast. So basically, they come and sit down, and we just start chopping up. Same thing happened last week with Michael Ely.
Yeah.
And we never get to formally introduce them in a good way because we're just catching up. So Michael Rainey Jr., it's good to see your face. I haven't seen it in a couple days. Who do we got here in the studio?
We got the big bro Isaac in the building, man. Yo, it's crazy because this is literally this is our first. I think this is our first time really like sitting down, chopping it up with the bro. Because every time I see him, we always outside
100%.
having a ball.
How have we not had you on?
I don't know. I was waiting. I think you saving the best for last. I think that's what was happening.
Yeah, 100%.
Y'all been doing great with the people you bringing on. And I was like, I always look from afar. I'm like, they ain't called me yet. They ain't called me.
But you don't live in LA, so that's why it's a little harder.
Michael doesn't live in LA either. He comes in.
Well, we used to film a lot of it in New York. Yeah. That was where we did most of the episodes, and you guys never came to New York. Most of your stuff was either Chicago or
for sure.
out here.
No, I just
Isaac, where you based? Where you based?
So I'm based in Phoenix now, man. I got up out of LA. I just pop in LA when I need to. I'm based in Phoenix, out the way, man. Yeah.
You like it?
Out the way, but close enough to LA though.
Yeah, I could pop in, man. I live close to a golf course, go through my neighborhood, man. More for your money, that type of thing. And then we travel so much in this business. It's cool to be able to have a place where you just kind of like, I'm out of it for a second, and then I get back into it when I need to. Helps keep my peace, man. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's very rare that I meet someone in this industry that I feel like I've known forever, and it happened immediately with you and Chris.
Yeah.
Do you remember where we first met? Was it Humor and Harmony or Tycoon? Was that
Tycoon?
Yeah.
Tycoon was the first time we probably got together.
Yeah.
Of course, I always watched our show, man. So I was always, shout out to y'all for doing what y'all did on the show. And then, once our show came to fruition, it was like, okay, we part of this universe. And then, he brought everybody together for for Tycoon Weekend in Houston. And at that point, that's an extravagant event. And we just kind of, we just kind of fell in line. We like you said, we weren't able to chop it up, but we were chopping it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because the stuff that people see of everyone together, pretty much everyone was together that weekend. And then it gets smaller and smaller. And the people that or the people always wind up together. And I feel like that's how it wound up happening, Michael and me and you and Chris and us four and a couple more that just are always like
for sure
in the mix. I think it's the people who really like gel together are the ones that stay. But yeah, it is such a cool experience that like, everyone from Canaan, everyone from Forest, everyone from Ghost, everyone just comes together and has a great weekend. We had Makai was on stage with the strippers
at Area 29 going crazy.
To see people out there element, like letting your hair down, like for real, like having a good time. I caught him in the gym doing a workout, and I was in there doing a workout too. I was like, okay, he on this fitness journey, So, but you seeing all aspects rather than just seeing somebody on the camera, So you just see how we move, and it was a crazy weekend, man, for sure.
I FaceTimed the two kids weekend, from Origins, the new young Ghost and Tommy. Someone on set FaceTimed them to me, and I started talking to them, and they're like, we got to go out with you guys. I'm like, oh my God. They're trying to keep these kids away from Michael and I.
Right. I feel like we got to haze them a little bit. Like you got to put them through. You got to put them through some shit.
They got to, they got to test the water. You got to see what they look like outside. You know what I'm saying? See
they're like, we've heard all the stories. We got to come out.
They got to be part of the news stories, man.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna make some new ones. So, I actually don't know anything really about how you started. Like Michael said, we kind of talk outside, and we're like, oh, where the girls at?
Yeah, for sure. Right, for sure.
So, what was your first what was the first thing that you ever did, and when did you decide? Because you played pro football first.
I did.
And how did that happen?
Shit, man. I went to Morehouse College. I didn't, I wasn't the cliche route. I wasn't like, got recruited out of high school, got a scholarship, played there 4 years, and then, you go to the pro combine. None of that was me. I walked on to 2 different colleges because I just was passionate about playing football.
Right.
Got in there, ended up at HBCU at Morehouse College, which, shout out to Morehouse because it just taught me and raised me as being more mature as a man, going through that school, but also going through the adversities of it. And being in a football program that wasn't like, top notch, it wasn't the one you see on TV. I had to create the mind state of myself that I had to dominate where I'm at.
Right.
Dominate where I'm at, and then they'll come find me. And the NFL wasn't always on the horizon. That wasn't always my thought process. I just wanted to play football. I wanted to walk around with it on my chest because I love the game and get my education paid for at some point. You know what I mean? So I eventually earned a scholarship. Did that, and then even then, like I dominated where I was at, but even then I still was overlooked on like the East-West Shrine Bowl, all the Senior Bowls, and even the Pioneer Bowl, anything like that. I was overlooked. Didn't get invited to pro combine, so I just worked out, continued to work out, and I had a great pro day, all those pro days, but I still didn't get drafted. I still didn't get picked up as a free agent. I got picked up a month later and ended up with the Minnesota Vikings, and that started the football part.
Nice.
That was that journey.
How was it playing for Morehouse? Because obviously that's not really like a huge football school. Like, there's not a lot of odds. Like, how would you stay motivated? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, it's like being on Force and not Ghost. Like, how do you guys stay motivated with
I don't know about that. Man, I think it was a lot of, it was more something that's built into me because I knew I wanted more for myself.
Right.
And once I understood where I was at, it's like I had to make this the best that I can make it. And we dealt with a lot of things. Like, of course, we didn't have all the scholarships that we're supposed to have. We, players couldn't play there because of academic stuff, so we weren't able to recruit guys from junior college to make our team better, faster. We had a bunch of transitions with coaches. Shit, I remember one training camp, the washing machine broke. We sitting there in training camp, 2-day practice with no washing machine. We air drying everything. Our clothes are standing up in the corner by itself at one point because all the sweat is drying.
That's what you call getting it out the mud,
man.
Bro.
Yeah, so but that adversity, man, it builds character. It teaches you how to it teaches you how to define resources and make something out of no way, and it makes you a better person. Like okay, yeah, I know how to deal with that.
Right.
So as I look at it through life now, it's like I use some of those things. So now it's like, I know how to get that. I know how to make it happen. So it's this, like making a wish sandwich back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. So how many seasons did you play in the NFL for?
I played 6. I count all my preseasons too. So even if I got released, I still count that preseason. So 6. So 4 accredited.
Listen, man, you still get baked up preseason, man. You still got to use your body, your muscles, man.
I count all of it. Yeah. So yeah.
Did you play your whole career in Minnesota or different places?
Nah, Minnesota. Minnesota did a training camp in Green Bay. Then Arizona is where I spent most of my time for 3 years in Arizona.
Nice. And that's why you went back out there. You liked it.
I went back out there, man.
Yeah.
I was about to say, where did you enjoy the most? But obviously, it had to be Arizona because now you back over there living there.
Yeah, Arizona. When I came to the league, remember the movie Any Given Sunday?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, all the parties. And when I first got into it, Minnesota was coming off like a big loss from the year before. And it's like, I didn't feel like I was in the NFL. I'm like, nobody's really taking me under the wing. There's no wild parties. There's none of that I thought was going to be. So I was like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. And then so later on, going to Arizona, I was like, oh, this is a little different. And they weren't even winning, but it was like the environment was different. Like, being out there, and I didn't know nothing about Arizona. Back then, it was Kevin Johnson, Charles Barkley. That's all you knew about back, in a while ago. And it was brown. It's very brown. Yep. Not a lot of greenery there. So when I was going out there, I didn't know what to expect. But then as I got into it, it's like, man, Phoenix is a vibe. It's a good time.
Scottsdale, Phoenix, like all those places are unbelievable places.
Well, your eyes lit up when you said that, Scottsdale.
I'm the white women in Arizona. The white women are top tier in Arizona. I dabble in all of it, but the white women out there are they're pretty good.
You're not lying.
Yeah. Okay, so when do you make the decision to stop playing football? Like, was it like, okay, I'm done, I got to do something else? Did someone else make the decision? How did that happen?
I mean, I always say that football stopped playing me. I didn't stop playing football. Yeah. My heart was still in it. I was still trying to keep playing. But the phone wasn't ringing. Yeah. And, unfortunately, it's like that part of transitioning that is relatable to everybody. When we all have to move from one thing that we love and are passionate about, how we move to the next thing when we're not ready to, So it was a tough transition at that point. We don't talk about it enough, but now we talk about it more with mental health and all those things and what you go through. But all I knew was to keep going. Yeah. All I knew was to keep on putting one foot in front of the other and keep one foot in the other and try to find out what the next thing. But acting wasn't the first thing. Like, I didn't know. Acting wasn't like I didn't feel like that was my calling at first. Right. I was like, I started doing personal training because I thought I could, I work out. So, hey, I got to make some money. Let me try to do that. And then, whatever. I have a degree, but I wasn't going back to school. My degree was in physical therapy. I had to go back to school, do all that type of training. I wasn't doing that. Yeah. So, it kind of like one of those things where as I continued to try to do different things, I met some other actors. I always give homage to, it was Lance Gross and it was Lamar Rucker. I spoke to both of them on a panel. I was on a panel with them. And I was like, wow, the actors, like the attention they were getting at the time. Like they couldn't walk down the street for a minute but it's really the celebration of what they were able to do on camera. Right. It wasn't the fact that I wanted the attention. It's like I wanted to be celebrated for all the work that I've been putting into football that I wasn't getting celebrated from. But I wanted to be celebrated for the work that I've done through this whole year because I've always been an underdog. Right. So it's like I wanted to be celebrated. So I was like, I want to do acting. We know how many times we hear that. Hey, I want to be an actor. What I need to do? So aggravating. Right. Yeah.
It's so funny. He's like, I want to be I'm like, I just wanted to be twerked on. Really, that was why I got it.
For real, man. But I was that guy. I was like, whoa, I want to be an actor. Because you didn't understand. You don't understand the process when you say that. So when they was like, well, you gotta go to acting. Take acting classes and do all these different things. I was like, all right, say less. I know how to do that. I know how to work for something. I'm not worried about that. In my transition, I basically I just moved to LA. It wasn't that easy. I still had my house in Phoenix and I was driving back and forth to LA. We all got these, the dog in the dream type of story when you come to LA. So the dollar in the dream. And so I came out here with doing the same thing because I started completely over. Like football, that was a wrap. That was just a conversational piece. I wasn't walking away with millions of dollars in my bank account. Right. I wasn't walking away with, accolades like that. I just had the experience of playing.
I know a lot of NFL players, they get famous and then they're like, oh, I could parlay this into being an actor where it's like you were just a guy in a roster that was getting, you were probably getting paid well, but like not well. They'll go, oh, I have 10 years of money where I could just be an actor. Like, no, you're probably like, I need to make money now. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of like insane that you were able to just kind of pivot into that. So were you got into a class or you started to get an agent audition? Like,
no, I came out here and, I got in the cliche class and I love her and y'all know her. Tasha Smith has the acting class out here. And that was like the class, especially all the black people came to. When they came to LA, they jumped to Tasha Smith's class. But it was a good class, very good class. It was intense. And it basically humbled me. When a guy tells you, hey, that was a great performance, but your acting sucks. Yeah. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? It was a great performance. It was a performance. Right. It wasn't like the depthness wasn't there. The attachment and the correlation to the character and all that wasn't there. You just performed. And I was like, wow.
So how many people was in that class when you were there? Like
it probably was about maybe 30 in that class. And she probably had about maybe 3 or 4. I mean, I was on the beginner level when I came out there. And
how intimidating was that? Because I ain't gonna lie, I would be super intimidated. Like even up to now, bro, in a room with 30 people and I gotta like people that I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like it's new, fresh material, bro. I would be panicking, bro. Like, damn, how the fuck?
It's way worse than set.
Take
to be
this
honest.
in, bro. Oh yeah, cause set, everybody, you see them every damn day, but like it's 30 people that I don't know, and like, what the hell are they thinking about my
acting class was intimidating hell. Yeah, because especially when you go with somebody that's already been there for a while.
Right.
And like, I could be in here with you, and you know, like you're pretty much off book already. I'm like, how's he do that? Like, how's he do it? Oh, it's a muscle memory in the back. I said, well, where you work on that at?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'm in the class, I'm looking at the paper, reading and looking up, and they like, you know, people be more advanced than you.
Right.
And that could be intimidating to you. So I just kept showing up. I was like, because of sports, because of that, you all know when y'all play sports, the competitive edge really kind of, it gets you aroused. Like you be like, okay, let's bring it, let's go. And that's what I used to be able to keep on going back to class.
That was the same with me, and I feel like that's why athletes, I think, succeed in acting when they really want it,
right?
Because they have that. They were born with it. They grew up with it. And I feel like I meet a lot of like theater kids or kids that went to NYU, and they're just like, you know, and then they never really do anything because they don't have that grind and that edge that we have.
For sure.
I'm saying we, like I played in the NFL. I'm like that
NFL
professional edge that we had.
No, as I said, it don't have to be that. It's sports.
Right,
in general. Like you played hockey, you know, Michael was good. He's good in basketball. It's like anytime you
Michael
had
played
that.
football too growing up.
There you go.
Yep.
So you know, when you have that, when you're able to realize that and transfer it over, we're different.
Right.
We're different than what I call civilians.
Yeah.
People that never played sports. We're different than them because they don't know how they'll deal with adversity. They don't know how to take no. They don't know how to lose and then get back and say, okay, we got to keep going, or play through injuries or whatever that may be. We get up, we show up, we go play, and whatever we put it on the table.
Yeah. I'll never forget Patina Miller came on, who plays Rock on Raising Kanan. Love her. Think about her every day. She had this super funny thing where she said where athletes would ask her, be like, "Oh, is there any way like you could get me on the show?" Yeah. And she'd be like, "Get me on the team. Get me in a game.
Like, give me a 10-day contract."
She's like, it's essentially the same thing, right? Wow. Like you're asking to like, this is my work. This is what I've worked my entire life to do. And you just say, oh, get me on the show, which happens to me and Michael literally every time we're out. Yeah. And I assume it happens to you too. Yeah. And she's like, then get me on the team. And they're like, well, it's the same thing, right?
That's a great point.
It's something that, you know, I think us three take very seriously. So so you get into a class. Now do you get representation? Do you start auditioning? When is that coming to play?
You know how that works. You trying to figure out, you know, I remember meeting Terry Crews at Super Bowl. Like, hey, Terry. No, you play football, I play football, you know. Like, hey, you know, I'm looking for an Asia manager. And he's like, okay, he ain't gave me his number.
Did he?
But I look back on this, man. I was so ambitious with it. Like I'm calling like, hey Terry, you know, like he ain't answering the phone. Like shit, he ain't answering the phone. But I ain't trying to be no side chick.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Bugging the phone. But eventually, right. So eventually he was like, man, you got to find, you know, don't worry about finding a manager or agent. That doesn't fly when you're trying to get in the game
at all.
When they tell you, what you mean? Don't worry about.
That's the only thing I'm worried about right now, bro.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry about. Just do the work. Do the work. I'm like, damn, okay, but how am I gonna do the work? So it was like a puzzle,
right?
And so, you know, I listened to it, but later on in life, I realized, yes, you just have to submerge yourself around going to acting class, being around other actors, and then you start talking to them. I'm like, who's your agent? Who's your manager?
Right.
And you know, and now you realize that you just need an agent manager that's on the level that you're on,
right?
Because you're not gonna go with
he's
William
like an
Morris.
8-person team at William Morris.
Yeah,
like
you're not. Yeah, you thinking I'm going there?
Right.
I play football, I can go there. No, that's not what's happening. So. He taught me something without him probably even knowing he taught me something.
Right.
And so therefore, I just started finding agents and managers. You know, I've been through a plethora of them, and they all kind of knew as you grow, you're probably going to lead them.
Right.
But that's how I started, and I just kept on doing different projects, student films and co-stars, and getting into these commercials, playing football players. A lot of my stuff was background work to make ends meet. Right. At times doing Old Spice commercial with Ray Lewis, and all you see is my feet run down the field, and you don't know who it is.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? And I was running down it fast too. I was fresh out. I was running down. They was like, slow down, sir. I was like, it's kickoff.
Like, this is all I know. This is all I know to do, man.
That's all I know. You
that muscle
memory. I'm gonna get cut.
Yeah, it is kind of hilarious how like a lot of times, I'll say about the auditioning thing is like, if you get an agent or manager and you're not ready as an actor, which happened to me because I got an agent very quickly, and I started reading for stuff and I wasn't where I needed to be as an actor, that office wouldn't call me in anymore. Oh. There was a very big casting director that cast a lot of like CW and all this stuff. I won't say his name, but I bombed an audition for him. And he like, I don't think he called me in for like 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And now like I did acting class for 7 days a week. I got so good. I was doing live improv, everything. I was crushing. And I was on a show and he still was like, I don't know. And I'm like that's how detrimental it can be if you put the cart before the horse. You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
So it's important to if you are an actor and you want to be in this business, you got to get good before you start going in the room because they could cut your water off pretty quick.
And as you even said in one of your posts, like you went into an audition and you didn't feel like you did your best.
Yeah.
At the time, like it still happens because
it happened to me like 3 weeks ago.
So it's like, you know, I enjoy the self tapes because now I can play with it because I can really get it. We go into the office, you had to drive in traffic. Some people really love it. Like,
I love in person.
Like, I'm not in person. I'm like, cause I sometimes would take my experience to getting there. I end up taking it to the office. Everybody else is in there running lines real loud, and I'm trying to do mine. Like, I ain't saying it like that. You know, something different. It's too many other distractions, and they always teach you in class to get in that bubble to where you know you just paying attention to what you're doing. But then you see your homie go through, hey, what's up, boy? You know what I'm saying? And you talk of that, and it's just like then you go to audition room. It's like I don't know. It's like because when you on set, you know, you have time to work through it.
Yeah.
When you have an audition, you don't always have that time.
But sometimes I enjoy like. My teachers have always told me bring that into the room. Mm-hmm. If you're stuck in traffic and you're fucking annoyed through the day, bring that into the character. It's gonna bring some depth. You know what I mean? Like just show up as that, and that's why I like the room because I'm just like, there's a lot going on. Then they redirect you, all that stuff. We're talking about like business jargon stuff, but I personally enjoy it. Mike, you said that you like in the room better.
I personally like in the room because I think I take direction like pretty well. So obviously like with self tapes you could, you know, you have your own kind of, you know, your own freedom to like tailor to what you want to do. You could have as many takes as you want, but in the room it's like that I got this one take for myself, and then they'll probably give me some notes, and I'm gonna take them notes, I'm gonna incorporate that into the next read, and we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna give them exactly what they want. So I think me personally, I do like the room because, like I said, I'm good at taking direction. But the self tape, it depends on what the role is too. Because like sometimes you get that freedom with the self tape, you can have mad fun with the shit, and it comes out super fire. Yeah. So I don't know, it's a toss up. I like them both.
I agree with you.
It's definitely that pressure.
Yeah, I still agree because I like direction. But a lot of times, you know, when I remember going in the room, you know, pre-COVID, all that, you know, before you get to a certain level of the actor, they're not giving you that type of direction.
Nope.
They're going to say it, and you're going to say, okay, thank you, have a great day, and then you leave out the room, you like. True. Hold on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But when you get
that
to
happened to me a few times. I'm like, yo,
all the time.
They not give me no notes. They not
exactly. Give me something.
Go in that back real quick. I'm like,
I could do it this way. Then you find yourself in the car and you still going through the lines like, You be like, man, all this is over with, bro. Exactly. So, but when they give direction, I love it. You know, when you get to a certain level, I feel like you get that.
Yeah. So, what was your first TV credit? What was the first thing you booked that you're like, I might be able to actually do this thing?
Well. It was like a co-star. Well, co-star, I did. Let's see, the co-stars don't really count to me.
The co-stars count. Your first TV credit.
Nah, you got to count the co-stars, bro. That's like the preseasons, bro.
Listen what
I mean. It's like the preseasons, bro.
How are you counting preseason training camp?
Listen to what I'm saying. They don't count on your record. But what I'm saying is, it counts because of the experience you have. And when you said what I feel like I can do this, that meant that something that I actually, because I had more substance. So when I had more substance, it was more or less, when I booked Get Shorty, and I was playing the enforcer for the Queen Pen, and it was like a reboot of the old Get Shorty, but a whole nother take on it. And Ray Romano and Chris O'Dowd were in it. I had some other great actors in there. We had a great cast, Sean Bridges, great cast. And even though my character didn't say a lot, I was watching everyone else. And I was like, it's like when you're playing a sport again. I was taking mental reps. Right. I was like, wow, look how Chris O'Dowd said that. Look how Ray has his, you know, his voice, inflection of his voice and everything. You know, like they've been in the game for a minute.
Right.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, and it felt like, okay, we can do this. And then we doing it for 3 seasons, and my character wasn't really supposed to go on, but because of the presence, because they seen more into me, personality, those type of things, or what I was bringing to the show, they kept writing more for the character, and he became more and more involved in every season. So you recurring
on that?
Yeah, so that was a whole other thing right there. Yeah, it was real. Yeah, it was guest star recurring. I was like, well, can I get a season regular? You know, when you start seeing that difference between money, you like, damn, like, you know. But then 3 seasons, I'm like, I'm finally gonna get it. It was like, yeah, no, we don't have the budget for it. And that's that point in your mind. Your ego's like, well, hell no, I ain't coming back. Right. But I gotta pay rent. I gotta pay a car note. I gotta do all these things. Like I can play that game. I gotta survive. But I need to go ahead and get this check. And it was a great show. It was and it was family. So yeah, that's when I kind of learned. I was like, okay, I can do this, and you know that money is good when you're working.
I know. How many episodes of that show did you do?
It was 30 episodes, so 3 seasons. Yeah.
So then how much after that did Force happen?
So that was 2019. We finished that. So Force, we auditioned for Force in 2020 of October. So I was just finished with that. We finished our last season in 2019 to Get Shorty.
Nice.
So, that's what you want as an actor. You like, okay, I'm off one show, going to the next one. Hell yeah. That's the longevity that you want, man, because, when it comes to acting, it's sustainability. What are you doing in between jobs? You know what I mean? Because now everybody's making, again, a lot of money this time. So how are you managing your money?
Right.
How are you able to sustain until the next job comes?
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We got to put you onto something that we've been obsessed with lately, Prize Picks. If you love sports and you love making money, this is the place to do it.
Football, basketball, and hockey season are in full effect right now, and there's no better time to jump in. Look, the app is so simple, too. All you do is pick more or less on a few player stats, and that's just it.
No full rosters, no salary caps, no headache, just you versus the numbers. And the best part, Prize Picks is live in 40 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, so the chances are you can play right now.
Just use the promo code CREW when you download the app. Again, promo code CREW, CREW. Or hit our link in the description, whatever you want to do. If you're lazy, just hit the link.
Look, we'll even build a lineup with you guys. You can follow our public profiles right on the app, Gianni Paolo, Michael Rainey Jr., and you can tail our picks in real time. The boys got an insane new offer for our listeners. If you play $5 for your first lineup, Prize Picks is going to give you $50 in free lineups, win or lose. So just use our promo code CREW when you download the app. Again, promo code CREW, or hit our link in the description.
I mean, come on. Lock in. Get that money. Prize Picks, baby.
Come on. Why would you not do that? It's free.
So do you remember your audition scene? Do you remember how the whole process went? Because I remember Chris Chris was like breaking bottles and in a hotel screaming and.
Yeah, Chris was on one, man. He tells that story very well. Mine was not as extravagant as that, but the one scene, one of the scenes it was pivotal that I enjoyed, especially at that time, and I wanted to make sure I did it right. It was a scene with the police officer. It was episode 2 in season 1. Where the police officer was coming very aggressive to Diamond, and he had his hands on his wheel. He was like, I'm not taking my hands off this wheel because I don't know, I'm not going to be responsible for your actions. And it was like the cop was coming real, racist and aggressive. And that was, when we did an audition, it was right at George Floyd. So it was like, it was such a present issue of social injustice. And it was important for me to make sure I got that scene right from that perspective, that character, and even in the audition room. And I mean, audition room for me was a self-tape in the garage of the homie, so it was like doing it there. But I wanted to make sure I got that right. And then that was continue to be my same audition, one of the scenes, the same audition for the, for like, all the way to the test read. But you do that process. I've just seen the show, man. I was like, damn, I got a chance to be on Power. There's certain shows that come in.
I was about to say, were you familiar with the universe before it came across your desk?
Come on, man. I've been watching you since you was legit, man, for sure. I was a kid. I was the guy going home to the watch parties and everything else, watching y'all, man. So of course, I was always familiar with that. And then when I had the opportunity to be an audition for, it's like, the auditions that come in, you be like, no, I want this. Yeah. Or when you read it, and I'm like, that's me. I just need them to see that it's me, but that's me. Like this, finally the character come in and it's like, it's there, so I just need them to see that. So I just kind of, you put it in there and then you throw your hands up in the air and wait for them to give you that.
It's all in God's hands now.
And so you sent in the tape, and how much longer after did they hit you back and were like, oh, and you chemistry read with Chris, right?
Nah, chemistry read with Joseph. So it was me and Joseph through a laptop, through Zoom.
It's so crazy. Yeah. That's how they cast that entire show.
Yeah, right. It really is. And, it was crazy because I was in a predicament because I was in Arizona at the time for my boy's birthday. And I'm sitting there Friday with a drink in hand already in his apartment. We getting ready to get it cracking. Look, in Scottsdale.
With the white women around.
I'm not obliged in that. So drink in hand, as I said, and I'm ready. We can ready to turn up for the weekend. We playing plans, and I get a call from my agent saying, "Hey, you got a test read on Monday, for Power." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like the test read, and really, this is my first test read.
Yeah,
I have the first time going for a series regular. My first test read. I've heard the stories. We all talked about. They get the contract with the money already beforehand, but usually it's in the studio. So I'm like, okay, on Monday. I said, damn, I'm supposed to fly back on Monday. I'm still thinking about the good time.
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm like, how can I do both? Yeah. So in the mind, I'm talking about all the way until we kicking. I'm all the way to Sunday. I just rescheduled my flight 3 times on Sunday, and I was like, what would the character do? I mean, Diamond just got out of jail.
Yeah.
Is he gonna kind of want to have a good time and hang out or whatever? So I was like, you know what? Again, like you said, I'm gonna use this.
Right.
I'm gonna use my whole experience. I just rescheduled my fight. I kept the fight for Monday, and I just woke up. I didn't sleep that whole night though. I mean, not because I was partying, because I had anxiety. Like I was like, my heart was racing. I was like, bro, because you know how this can change and affect your life. As any actor, that's what you're looking for. That serious regular role. 100%. And people have to understand that, like when you feel like, and then you have to inflict this emotion and be this character when you already have your own personal emotions and feelings going through. Like you have to use it, but then you also have to discard some of it too.
Right.
So like, especially the anxiety and the anxiousness. So, and I had all of that. Not sleeping at night, and I woke up. I was up early, and I had my laptop on in the Airbnb, opened it up, and here we are. Courtney, Robert Munich at the time, Joe Sikora, the director at the time, and I'm just like, let's go. Yeah. And you know, it's the same scenes that I've been doing, so it's like, let's just get it and go. And after it was over with, me and Joseph exchanged, like, just my first time seeing him. Been a fan of his as well. Like, I'm a fan of yours. I was like, man, stop it. Like, I love good shorties. I was like, man, stop it, bro. But I did the audition and I closed the laptop, exhaled deeply, threw my hands, and it was like, it's out of my hands.
Did you feel like you got it?
I felt like I did everything I could do to get it. Okay, that's what I felt. So I walked away feeling like I did what I could do. Right. And then, they supposed to have 5 days to get back to you. They called me in 3. Nice. And they told me I got the role. Man, shit, I tore my whole apartment up down there, jumping up and down. Man, I sweated from the eyes a little bit.
It was a little hot. It was a little hot in the apartment.
Dude, that's something that 100% is worth the cry, man. Come on,
sure.
That's like first series regular, 100%.
I know it was like
man,
that.
At that point, your life about to.
Yeah. But you still because you never done it, you still don't know that. People are saying it like. I did Jurassic World. My boy was like, "Hey man, that residual check gonna be crazy." I was like, "Is it? Like, is it?" Like he's like, "Yeah, man, that's gonna be $1 billion movie." Blah blah. I'm like, "Okay, it came in, it was nice, but then taxes hit it, and it cut it down."
Then you're right. Yeah, it's like I owe money on this fucking check.
Right, exactly. So when
taxes,
I saw taxes. So when I saw what I was making an episode at the time, I was like, okay, times 10. Okay, that's good money. Right. And but I still didn't believe I had the role because it's been in too many situations where people say you have something and then I was like, oh well, this didn't happen. Yeah. So now it's going to take it away. So I knew it, but I wasn't going to believe to the ink dry, but even then start filming on set. Right. And that's when I was like, okay, we in the universe. Yeah. We here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even then they replaced 2 series regulars on our show, season 1.
Yeah, still same. Same thing. Like it can happen anytime,
all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, going back to the audition thing, it probably almost helped that you were in an Airbnb. Because you were in a different, like sometimes you're in your own space, you're kind of this, that. Yeah. You were Diamond, probably getting out of jail in an Airbnb in a place that you don't know. Like that stuff, like really, I think, if you don't see it, it like is almost in your bones that it just like helps the scene, which I think
I agree.
Yeah, is kind of
and all the white women.
Yeah, and all the white women was around. He was Wisconsin.
Diamond getting out of prison with all the white women.
Now, like Chris Lofton said, there's no white women past 8 p.m. 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. For him, it's 8. For me, it's 10.
I think weekdays and weekends would vary the time frame.
Yeah, you could experiment a little bit longer than us. Like you could go you could probably fuck around, go to like 12 a.m., 11 p.m.
Probably could.
Shit. We got to cut it off 9 o'clock.
You could do overnighters and stuff, man.
You could have sleepovers and shit.
Nah, it's getting treacherous out here. No sleepovers. Okay, so you get to set, and are you like confident that you're gonna are you nervous? Like how are those
what's
first
that first day like? What was that first day? That's
always
the
day,
craziest day.
Yeah, I'm glad it was with Chris.
Oh, cool.
And it was the scene when we were walking around the corner. He's telling you about how he got robbed by Tommy. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the neighborhood. So me and Chris, like, it's cold. We're not supposed to link up before I do. Everybody's supposed to be in their apartment out there. But him and I went and rehearsed. I went to his apartment. We rehearsed. Right. Because I was like, bro, we both, we killed, we're going to get this. And so we rehearsed. So when we came out to do the scene, we were confident in the scene. But it was cold as hell out there. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was shaking because it was cold. Because it was cold. But I was shaking because I was nervous for a second at first. Before you get that line out. And then it's like all new to you. This is all new. So it's like that first time aspect. You just like, you don't know the director. They don't know who you are. You just, you're like, I got to perform. I got to do this right. Don't mess up. But then, when you start going through it and understanding the process of it, how you're going to rehearse, coming in, do blocking, understand like, oh, okay. So now you start getting more comfortable with it. But that first time, yes, I was nervous. I was, me and Chris, like I said, we was outside, cold as hell, trying not to act like it wasn't that cold, but we was, so doing like extra acting. But again, you use the nerves, you use all those different feelings and emotions, and you just put it into the character. And it was good, Chris. We had a great scene, and then from that point on. But the scene that I always speak of when I do interviews is when episode 2, it was a lot of Diamond and Tommy, and it was like we're sitting in this alley, and Tommy, he's going through his lines, and he did his eyebrow up like that real quick, and I was like, that's the Tommy eyebrow.
That's a Tommy face.
I was like, and I'm the alley, I almost lost character. Like, then I said, I stayed in, and it's over. I said, oh shit. Yeah. I said, I'm in fucking power.
That was the one moment that hit you, right? You was like, damn, I'm in this bitch.
I'm in it, bro. Like everything I watched, I'm like, I'm in it. I'm not in it. I'm one of the lead characters in it. Like, so it's like, when I know that, and just I continue to own it, man, and the confidence always comes. Each season we get more comfortable into our characters.
Yeah.
It's like, it's us now.
Yeah.
And you get comfortable, the process, you're more comfortable on set, and you started bringing the A game. And I always liked our cast because we always challenged each other.
Right.
Every scene we challenged each other because we had dope cast. And when you had that, they can switch some things up or a tone, or you be like, it's okay, and you got to be right there with them.
Right.
So I think that's what made our scenes, so great, and the acting ability be great on the show.
Did you guys didn't go out much season 1 though, huh? Because it was during the pandemic.
It was the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm on Chris Lofton.
I was just about to say, I'm like, bro.
I'm with Chris.
I was about to say, like, bro, you taking it with Chris. Like,
much.
Chris don't give a fuck about no rules.
That's his city.
Back to when Chris told the story on the podcast where he didn't go to the Celtics game. You went, right?
Yeah, he threw me under the bus on that too. I said, well, who's the parties you talking about, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
When Chris told the story, he's like, Jason Tatum gave tickets to the game and to you and him in Boston, and then he said that the producers, he asked, and they said, we feel very adamant that you don't go. And he said, when white people start saying adamant, I'm not going anywhere. I like my job. But he said that you still went.
Yeah, I did.
Listen, man.
I went.
Listen, man, you got to use that freedom,
I said, this is not often you're going to go to a championship game.
Right.
And be invited and be able to go to the game by one of the stars. He's from the Caribbean. He's from St. Louis. I'm good friends with his father. And this was the one moment I looked at Chris like, huh? Like,
yeah.
Because throughout this whole season, we've been going to parties outside. We've been going to his friend's house, doing all these different things.
Yeah, this is where you draw the line.
Yeah, like you draw the line at a championship game.
At a championship game, bro.
Yeah. Like we've been going to Pookie's house, but right. We're going to people's house at the risk of catching COVID. I'm catching the championship game.
Yeah.
But
that's worth it.
Yeah. So he said he wasn't going, and I looked at him and I said, "You sure?" And he said, yeah, I know. And I said, well, I'm going to jump on this flight. I'm going to go on this flight real quick. I'm going to come right back. Breathe into the little machine, check for COVID, pray, put my hands up to the Lord, like we make it. We was clean, so no harm, no foul.
That was literally Michael and I every week during that time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't think we missed one thing. But now looking back, I'm like, shit, I wish we did more. I wish we did more shit. You never regret doing something. You always regret not doing something.
Not doing some shit.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Nah,
but no, we
was crazy.
We had such a great time. Like what a time, like meeting everyone and being outside, and it's just like a special thing to be a part of that I truly loved. Like, and I know Michael pretty much feels the same of like just everyone being together. And
it's
all
a family.
Stuff.
No matter we talk shit about each other's show, we do all this other thing, but it's a family. We all wishing each other well, meaning whatever we're doing. We want the longevity. I am, personally, I am mad that we didn't get a fourth season because I wanted to re-up that contract too.
Right.
But I understand it's business,
Right.
and I understand that we had, I'm really proud of our show. Like I'm proud of all the other shows. I'm proud of our show, and I'm proud of what we were able to do. But also, again, it's business.
Right.
So we leave it on the table, and I was on the bigger and better things.
Yeah, I don't feel any type of way. I'm just like so happy that I get to like meet everyone and have the experience. Like,
and we still got these relationships.
100%.
I look at it because now it's like, okay, project comes about. Hey, Johnny, you ready to do this project? Let's go.
Right.
Michael, I got this role over here. Like we build our relationships and our network for us to excel our careers.
Right.
It's not just to be stagnant. It's just over with. No, we built a whole family throughout this whole universe to be able to keep going, and that's what it's about. Bring your people that you can work with and you can count on.
Right. I know Michael and I have been going away from like power talk on the podcast because we want to expand. We want to do all this stuff. But when we have someone special like you on a series regular on one of the shows, like we have to ask some power questions. Like, do you have a favorite scene that you shot on the show?
All the sex scenes, man. The sex scenes. The sex scenes were amazing. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. They're awkward as hell.
Dude, they're horrible.
They're awkward as hell.
People think they're like dope. They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, dude, it's the worst thing ever.
That's one of my favorite things to enlighten people on is how awkward. And then see their face like, y'all really not doing it?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not going down like that. It is so awkward, bro. Like, and I did a whole video on my Instagram showing the little sock that you can try to put on. Those the modesty patches that the women have to wear, and like it's awkward as hell.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, and then you got people watching you simulating some shit. Like, it's so it's weird, bro.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And you had a lot of them. Yeah, you had a lot of experience of them, Michael. Yeah.
I sure did, and it was crazy because like that was like that was like my introduction to it. Like, I never had no intimate scenes until Ghost, and then like they was just hitting me with them like this, like
over because you had to come. Like, part of it, you had to come to age a little bit to make for it to make sense in a sense, like right. So
yeah, but kind of like you and Chris, how you guys rehearsed the scenes beforehand. Michael had a little experience doing that as well, so. No, I'm just kidding. We gotta cut that.
Look. You know, practice makes perfect, man. Hey,
that was a joke, everyone. That was a joke. I got everyone in the studio shaking their head at me.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice does make perfect. You gotta get the reps in.
You gotta get the reps in.
No, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is like, have you ever gotten? There was an actor that said, "I'm sorry if I do, I'm sorry if I don't," gotten aroused during a sex scene. Has that ever happened to you? We're asking the hard-hitting questions. Who has it?
I'm not gonna say honestly with the apparatus that I have to put on.
Right.
I really couldn't even feel what's going on down there at the time. But that day, I had a little extra coconut oil on my body, and in the scene, she happened to be on top, and she was moving a lot.
Right. And coconut oils were.
Yeah, and the coconut oil and the apparatus started to kind of meet together, and it started to kind of. There was some slippage going on right there. Right. And the camera, the way they were shooting, because it's all about the camera. It was smoke mirror. They were shooting down low across the bed, and they were coming up. And right when they were coming right around their waistline, I was like, cut. So I'm calling cut on set, and she's still going. I'm like, all right. Look, at this point, I'm not responsible for it.
Right. I'd rather her than me, man.
I'm like, this is going to be a whole nother scene for y'all and for everybody. But so that was my point then, and but it turned out good.
I mean, but a lot of actors, I forgot what actor said this because I think I've said this on the podcast before, but if you're in the scene, in the circumstances, like, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? It's happened to me. Like I'm not going to say, it was the scene with me and Kiki when we were up at the Wall Street episode. I'm not going to just go out and say that. But if I were to say that, it would probably be that scene that happened to me.
I think it's a form of flattery. It's a form of flattery.
Right.
It's a form of flattery.
And the thing is, yo, literally, I'm not going to say her name, but she was like, if I'm having
you say the name because I just did Mike.
All right, but Paige, she was like, honestly, if I'm it wasn't just with this is a genuine conversation. She was saying if I'm having an intimate scene with anybody and we're doing the scene for a continuous amount of time and the dude doesn't get a little bit excited or something, I'm gonna feel like a piece of shit. I'm gonna feel offended, and I'm like, shit, fuck this. I'm good.
You want to make sure everything's working accordingly. You know what I mean? The blood is flowing appropriately.
And a lot of times they cast beautiful women.
They do.
And you have a beautiful, and you're making out. It's like,
it's bro. We humans, man.
Like you said, you got to use it. Use the emotion.
You know what's so funny is people are so interested in this stuff, and as an actor, it's like, oh, that's just one scene that happens. Right. For some reason, this is one of the most asked questions for me. Be like, what's sex scenes like? Does that happen a lot with you too?
Yeah, it does. And
crazy.
I love to tell them, like we talked about it right now, just give them the other side of it, the real scoop.
Right.
You know what I mean? The closed set, those type of things. But you still got cameras all in front of you. You got the cameraman there.
60 people in the room.
Everything. The intimacy consultant meetings where you got to go through the whole step-by-step rehearsal of what your no-touch zones, your no-no zones and all those type of things and make sure people are comfortable. You want to be careful and you want your partner to be comfortable too.
Right. But that's kind of new. The intimacy coordinator stuff is kind of new. That didn't really happen
Me Too.
Yeah, the Me Too movement changed it for the better, I think.
Yes.
I think they'll basically call you beforehand. They'll be like, you have a sex scene on Friday. Let's go through everything. If it's a new person, they'll be like, where can you touch? Where can you not touch? Me, I'm like, she can touch anywhere, pal. Yeah. All right? She's got free reign to do whatever she wants, all right?
Freak. Yeah. Freak, you trying to get it when you can. Look at
Have you ever fallen in love with a co-star? Has that ever happened? Have you ever like done a intimate scene and been like, oh, I kind of like this guy? Has that ever happened?
I'm not falling in love with, but sometimes we may continue the conversation.
Right.
May possibly continue the scene.
Right.
Right. After. That has happened.
Right.
So and it's funny because sometimes you get those people, those scene partners in, a lady coming, she's like, nah, whatever you want to do. I remember even on our show, and the guy was like, the director's trying to calmly say like, I think Diamond may be on the table. That type. But I'm like, no, he ain't gonna be on the table. He a gangster. He gonna be standing up.
Right.
She said, well, shoot, just tell him to hit it from the back. She started like that. She started clapping her hands like that. And I was like,
oh shit.
I'm like, what she said?
Yeah.
Okay, but she said it. They're not me. But those type of things, they come in very ambitious, and some people are really comfortable with it. Some people aren't, and that's why it's important to always kind of have that conversation.
Right. And Michael, how many times has that happened with you? I'm not even going to ask if. I'm going to ask how many times have you fallen in love with a co-star?
Maybe
I love this question.
you know what I'm saying? Maybe once for a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
See, we don't go crazy like this for the Michael Ealy episode.
Yeah,
We're like, this is where we get crazy with Isaac in here.
It's the homie right here, you know what I'm saying? We be outside with
nothing
them.
less.
You know what I'm saying? But not like, I wouldn't say fell in love as I would say, but sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the chemistry is just there, bro.
Right.
The chemistry is just there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you a little bit curious, she a little bit curious. The phone like, yo. Good scene earlier, you know what I'm saying?
we were literally at Chris's apartment on Sunday, like 4 or 5 days ago. And
that was the best night of my trip. I'm not even gonna lie. That was the most enjoyable night. I swear to God.
And me and Mike were outside partying every night, going here, going there. And this was the night we just played like games at Chris's house. It was like me, him, Chris, Latoya,
and
Arlen.
Chris made some fire ass catfish, bro. That shit was so good, bro.
It's a good time.
And we all just chopped it up. And those are the best nights for me. It's just like everyone's hanging out. We're telling stories, stuff that happened on set, stuff that happened on the 4 set that we don't know, stuff that happened on the Ghost set that like he doesn't know, but now the world knows. But kind of stuff like that.
It's the time we ain't got to put on.
Right.
Sometimes when we out, we still got to put on. We still got to know people are watching us. And I've started learning as the career gets gets better in the sense is that there's a lot more eyes on you. And really, what you want is to be able to have those kickbacks where you could be around your friends that know you. Where you can just hang out and you can talk how you want to. If you get a little drunk or something like that, you good. You're in a good place. Those type of things. So it's like it's a good time over Chris' house. He lets everybody come over there too. So I'll be like, Chris, you can't just say, oh, it's good, it's whatever. And everybody comes over there. It's a good time.
Doors open, unlocked. Just go right in.
Everything. Have a good time. So I'm not surprised.
Who are some of your he's insane. Who are some of your like inspirations of people that you watch that you love or movies that you love?
I mentioned Any Given Sunday because it was just the ensemble, and then seeing some professional athletes in it, like Tara Owens, those type of things, seeing that, and then the guys that were playing in the background, it was more relatable at the time. But Christian Michael Bale, I've always liked him just on how the depthness and where he would go into the characters. We're always a Denzel fan. We're always those type of things. Will Smith, of course, because I liked what Will Smith was doing because he showed his range from doing everything, and I love Hitch playing that charismatic type of character, but then you go to Hancock where he's playing a superhero, but it's not the same way. Action hero. It's like those type of things.
He got a sick role there.
Exactly, and then Pursuit of Happiness. So I always like
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, it's a different range.
That's my favorite movie from Will, man.
Man, come on, you still sweating from the eyes watching that, bro. Come on. Those. There's so many more. It's just I always forget names when it comes to a situation like this, but. I look at it like watching film, watching film of whatever sport you play. It's like it's a teacher take. I even watch my episodes because I'm like, oh, I could have did that or did that to learn from it. So I'm always a fan of just the actors and what they do and what they kind of bring. Even stand-up comedians, anybody that performs on the show or speaker, I look at how they deliver their message, how they get the audience in, and how they bring them in, and what tools they use, and how they bring it back to circle, full circle with the story. So I'm always a fan of that. I'm always sitting there watching it, and I'm just a student of it. So
yeah, I don't understand how actors don't watch themselves. Like, there's a lot of actors like, I can't. I'm like, how do you know what you look like, and how are you gonna get better?
I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I used to be like that. Yeah, I used to hate watching myself. It used to just make me cringe so hard.
Yeah.
But
I know. Yeah, I get what you mean. It is sometimes a little cringy,
crazy.
but like, I think it's instrumental on
you gotta
getting
face
better.
it. You gotta face it.
Right.
But it was instilled in me from my first movie though, because like Silvio Muccino, the first director the first director I ever worked on a film. I remember after our first scene, I was like, can I see it? Like I want to see. Like I want to see it. He's like,
Right.
He was like, no. He's like, no, because I love I love the way you're acting right now. And if you don't like it and you end up changing, I'm gonna be mad. So
Wow.
I always took that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Because now that is true. Like imagine like you killing this shit, and then everyone think you killing it, and then you watch it, you like, what the fuck am I doing? And then you just switch it up, and now you actually ask. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. I understood that.
I got broken from that because of sports. You know, when you go out there and you're in practice and you like, I know I bombed on this play. I messed up. Coach is gonna yell at me. He's gonna chew it up on and you go in the meeting room. You like, you just waiting for him to get that little red marker and show them the screen.
Yep.
And then either he shows you the play and you like, either it is bad as you thought it was, or it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. Either way, but you're still in there cringing the whole time, like, you know, he's gonna see it. But that taught me to be able to want to see it, to be able to be like to face it. The cringe, like I need to know. Because like I said, we talked about acting. Like you go in the room, okay, thank you, have a great day. You don't get the affirmations of like knowing how you did or you know did you do well.
Right.
So I always trying to seek that. So that's why I watch tape on myself. So.
Do you have a favorite moment of your NFL career?
Favorite moment. My favorite moment probably was even my first preseason game. It was my first preseason game because I stopped the game-winning touchdown, and I was out there tired. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and it was one particular play, cover 2. That I could never get right. I could just never find a number 3 receiver, carry him down the line. And this play to win the game, we're playing New Orleans Saints in San Antonio at preseason. And the play came down to it. I read number 3 was the tight end, came, and the ball came, hit me in the back of my head like that. Because I was turning here, but I blocked the play, and we ended up winning the game. And you don't understand how that training camp, I was getting my ass handed to me by my coach and by the because I could not get this cover 2 right because I was like reading. I played defensive end in college. You move me to Mike linebacker in the NFL. Like that's just a whole people play that their whole lives. And then but now you move me on the highest level of the game to play Mike linebacker. I'm the quarterback of the defense damn near. And so I could never get it right at the time. But that play, like in acting, told me, okay, I can do this. We can make this happen. Let's just keep going, keep showing up. Keep practicing. Just keep going.
Damn,
That's a big ass
find
transition going from DN to Mike linebacker. I ain't gonna lie, like
bro, it was
wild.
It's crazy, you know what I mean? And you know the learning curve is so long, but you don't have that much time because they ain't got time to be waiting for you. They cutting people left and right, you know. So you trying to just show your what you can do in such a short amount of time. Somebody may get 20 reps, you may get 2. You know, like,
as
like
a DN, you're not really like as a DN. Your face wasn't like really buried in the playbook as much as you were as the linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, you was the quarterback of the defense. So
it's a different lens. Yeah, it's a different vision. Like I'm on the line. I got my hand in the dirt. I'm worried about this one side. Mike, I'm worried about the whole field. I'm reading the guard, the center, all the way to the running back. It's a whole nother thing. And then you go in NFL and it moves so much faster.
Yeah.
You know, if you get that professional level, anything you see like, oh wow, okay, I see why they're playing on this level.
Yep.
And that's exactly
And
what I
they
felt.
making
quickly.
adjustments on the fly.
Yeah,
you got
all
to
of that.
adjust with them.
All
Dude,
that.
I didn't even play it at that level, but I played a couple months ago in a celebrity NHL game in Aspen, and it's actually insane like how fast the play transitions. Like you make a great play, it goes in, and then it goes back. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's already back here. Like the way that they think and move, it's just so much faster than you would ever even expect or imagine. And I played with the best players growing up, like.
Yeah, and the correlation is still similar because it's like your experience makes you move faster.
Right.
You can be out there faster than that person over there.
Right.
Faster, like literally faster and move faster. But if you don't know where you're going or you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be slower than they are.
Right.
And it's just like when acting, when we come into it, like we first get into it, you first get acting, you don't know where you don't know, you're lost.
Right.
Until you start getting your feet wet, you start getting into it, and the progression and the foundation of building and learning takes you into the point where you're like, oh, I'm more comfortable. Okay, give me a scene. What we gonna do?
Yeah. Who's the craziest person you've ever been on the field with or against?
That's a good one.
That's a great question.
The most athletic person I seen at one point was 2. Randy Moss, of course. But then at the time there was a cornerback, Dale Carter. Dale Carter from the hood, from Miami, and you look him up. Dale just couldn't stay out of trouble, but Dale was probably the best cornerback I ever seen in life. So that year in Minnesota, he was suspended for a couple games, my first season. So I didn't really know who he was and all that. I knew his name from the years before. When he came back from practice, it felt like we were going to the playoffs or something, and we weren't. It was just him coming back to practice. He came back to practice. He talked so much trash in practice and was telling me, I know the route. I know what's going on. He going to run right here. Randy will run him out. Chris Carter running around. He boom, boom, he running the routes for him, knocking the ball down, and just talking cash shit to everybody. I was sitting there like,
that's
and
so
like seeing
tough.
this like, bro. So, and he was one of the wildest people I know, because even we developed a relationship, and I remember I was like, hey Dale, I'm in Miami. What's up? He said, yeah, we can link up. He said, but we probably had to separate later on, because you probably I don't need to take you where I'm going later on. Because he'd be submerged into the hood.
Yeah, he's just wild.
And he was trying to protect myself.
Yeah.
From
I
that.
kind of like that though. That
I
he was
always
just
love
like,
that.
but he was like, you can't come with me. I'm
I
not gonna
respect
get you.
that. I was like, what you mean? I'm from St. Louis.
Yeah.
I know that. Okay, let me just trust what he's
I was
saying
about to
right
say,
now.
you know what it's like.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
let me just trust what he's saying. So like he know better than I do in a sense. But those are just two experiences like that, man. But being in the NFL, you realize that the athleticism. I've seen Ward Dunn make a cut so fast from the sideline. I was like, bro, I don't even know how he did that.
Yeah.
And I'm in that era where it was still a lot of, it was hidden. We were hitting then.
Yeah.
It was nothing but power plays.
The rules
ISOs.
wasn't like now.
Yeah, it was running like you get your head knocked off.
Niggas were trying to take their heads off.
Yeah, for sure. Mike Allstar, big ass back there in the back, playing tailback and fullback, playing for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those type of guys, but it took me to another level mentally. Just like, okay, I'm here too. So it's like I can do this, but the whole time it's just trying to find your niche.
Right.
You're trying to find. It's like trying to find that role. You're trying to find that team that's going to allow you to really excel.
Right.
And unfortunately, I never really found that in a sense. It wasn't that I wasn't good enough. It's just like you got to find that niche and that timing aspect to where it makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of it is it's crazy. It's also kind of the same thing in acting. It's so funny how the parallels are just so there. It's like you need to be put into a position to succeed.
Yes.
And sometimes you could be the best player on the field. You could be the best actor on set. If you're not put in a position to succeed, you won't.
Yeah.
And,
Or at least not then.
Right. And I think like, yes, it's a lot of preparation. I got to put myself in the position, but like a lot of times it's out of your hands. You know what I mean? Like if I just did that one episode of the original Power that I did, and they didn't give me the opportunity to come back and do season 6 and then come back, I wouldn't have gotten put in a position to succeed, to be where I am now. It's like, yeah, you got to have the preparation, but like someone's gotta say yes.
And that's the frustrating part about it.
I know.
Sometimes you sitting there like, all I need a person to say, hey, come on.
Right.
I got this role for you, or just get this. And it's like, it doesn't happen. You have to have so many people to say yes. And I need the audience to understand that for us, you to see us in these positions, so many people had to say yes for us to even be in this position here. But let alone be into an acting role. Like we go against 1,000 people sometimes on an audition role. That open ethnicity, I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
At least make it a black person or something like that. But it's like, so we're grateful for it.
Right.
We understand what it takes to get there and to do it. And then it's like what you do when you get there.
Right.
And then like you said, you may not be in a position to exceed at that moment, but you're learning something from that moment that's going to help you exceed later on.
Right.
Our phrase for actors is what's for us is for us.
Right.
That's what keeps us sane. Because we really be like, no, it's for me. I want this role. I want it. Give it to me. But you have to like, what's for me, it's for me. Thank you. And appreciate that.
I feel like when I say that, it's like a little bit of cope, but it's really a fact though. Like it's really the biggest. Like I feel like it's the biggest fact in our industry. Like it's literally just like roles that are for you. Like if it's not for you, it's just not for you.
It's not for you.
Everybody get that role for a reason.
Yeah, you just want it though. You want it because you know what you need. Whether you got to pay these bills, whether you got to pay for something else, your livelihood. You want it, and you're like, I can do this, but it ain't for you. And you got to kind of cope with it, man.
Yeah. Was there anything that you've auditioned for that you're like, oh, God, that was mine?
So, what was it called? Draft Day.
Draft
Day. Kevin Costner, Chadwick Boseman,
Great
who
movie.
took my role. Rest in peace.
Man.
Great actor. No,
Rest in
it was
peace,
funny. I'm
man.
like the fact that I'm comparing myself to Chadwick Boseman at that time frame was crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember my manager saying, "Hey, I feel like I bombed the audition because I went in. I was still green in the aspect, but of course, football and that type of thing was going in for the football player, the same play Chadwick played, and I feel like I bombed the audition. They called, was like, no, we love Isaac. We want to bring, he's in consideration. And she said, okay, you're in consideration. It's like you and Chadwick Boseman. I said, who? She said Chadwick Boseman. I said, are you talking about Jackie Robinson? Jackie Robinson, Chadwick Boseman just came out Jackie Robinson. I said, well, he just came, not knowing that he probably filmed that film a year ago.
Right.
I'm like, well, he probably just came off of that. He probably doesn't want to do this. It's not that big of a role. And I was like, oh, please give me. I'm working out in my whole mind. I'm like, I could be on draft day, but I just be cool. And they came out. He ended up taking the role. And I was like,
I know, it's so heartbreaking.
I mean, but it's heartbreaking. But I mean, if I'm gonna lose out on a role, I love this Chadwick doing it because he's just an amazing actor. But that was like, I feel like it was gonna be my big break into a feature film, and that. But it didn't work out. it didn't go out for me. So it's like, moving. There we go.
That's hilarious.
What was that role for you, G? I'm sure you had one like that. Hey, you had a role that you really went in and you was like, damn.
I think I talked about this on the first episode back we did. I mean, now, like, I thought it was so much more important at the time than I do now. I'm like, it really doesn't even matter. But, like, the role that it literally was written for me, I think, was, like, Happy Gilmore 2. But, like, it came out, and I was like, all right, like, maybe the role wasn't as big as I fully expected it to be. But it was, like, hockey player from the East Coast, like, tough guy. I'm like, comedy. I'm like, this is literally me.
It was you.
But that's just like how it goes sometimes. And then you watch, you're like, oh, really? They didn't play any hockey, and it wasn't really what you thought it was. But that's just like, that's just how it goes sometimes. You're like,
you might have been too good for the role.
Like
sometimes,
for sure.
Or they had to minimize the role because of who they end up choosing. So it's so many variables to go to it. And stuff too. But Michael, what's yours? Because you've been in the game for a long time.
I would have to say this role in this movie, mid-90s. I love that movie,
that's
bro.
a fire movie too.
I love that. Like, those are the type of movies I love. Those are my favorite type of movies, bro. So, like, and the thing is, like, what really bothered me about it is because I didn't fully grasp what the movie was supposed to be when I was reading for it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if I really would have grasped exactly what it was supposed to be, I feel like I would have went about my tape a way different way. So that's the one thing that bothered me about it. But it was definitely a role in that movie, mid-90s. Because I saw the movie, I'm like, damn, this is like my ideal like movie. Like, these motherfuckers look like they had so much fun filming and shit, bro. I was just like, no, I made it. Like, I did so bad. But, like we said, what's for you is going to be for you,
Yeah, sometimes that's the issue with the audition process, though, is like you don't know the tone, the vibe, the this, the that. They're just like, do it. You got to be the director. You got to be the producer. You got to shoot it yourself. You got to, like, nowadays doing self-tapes is like you're everything.
Everything.
Except the writer. And realistically, like, sometimes I'll change stuff.
You have to be the writer sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to switch up some things because it's just like, I ain't saying this like this, bro.
Right.
Sorry.
I used to be caught up in trying to get it right, and you realize now it's like it's not about getting it right. It's just about coming up with the story, just doing it and going for it.
Yeah,
and just getting it across.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like then put.
Yeah, when you start getting into the mode of I got to do this to be right or for them, that's when you're just like you're not taking any chances. You're not risking
it.
Yeah, right.
You're in a box. You're not yourself. You're not bringing your uniqueness out when you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's. And also, this is kind of why we brought the podcast back, because it's like the way that the industry is moving, it's like it's not so much more auditioning and book something. It's like it's now moving into a lot of multimedia. It's moving in a lot of like social media. And like it's so funny. I go to all my friends' houses who do Instagram for a living or reels. These guys are living in $10 million houses.
Really?
No word of a lie.
Getting paid,
I was at my friend's house last night.
Yeah.
$5 million house. The guy does reality TV. I'm like, and I'm not saying that that's what I want to do, but like, I'm going to a lot of my friends' houses, Adam W., Hannah Stocking, and like, these people are living in $8-9 million houses, and I'm like, I'm not that. I'm an actor, and I'm like,
well, that's just a 2-bedroom house in LA, so
these houses are 8-9 bedroom, but you're right, 100%. But I used to be so hell bent on like, I am an actor. I don't do social media stuff. Where my team is like, even my team who was at like Gersh and like very, they have like they do indie movies and stuff like mid-90s and stuff like that. They're like, no, you should be doing everything because that's what's bringing in the money now. It's not so much the movies anymore. The studios don't have the budget that they used to. You want to know what has the budget? The brands.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
And it's crazy because like a lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, how should I go about trying to get into acting? And I feel like my answer is never what they expect. I'm like, bro, use your social media and just show your personality, bro. Like, it's not the same as back in the day where you know what I'm saying, you got to go into these rooms and, get into a class, meet this person and try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, now it's like, you just got to put yourself out there. Because people out there scouting, looking at everybody's social media, looking at reels, clips, TikToks. And that's how a lot of people get their stuff nowadays.
And
like,
it's weird because, you had to have a talent before.
Right.
You had to be able to act. You had a talent. Now it's like, okay, if you got a bunch of clicks and you got a lot of audience engagement, we can throw you a bag because advertisers don't care who's watching it.
Right.
They just want to have apps. So I know I came from the era where exclusivity. You know what I mean? Like it was still like, you were a star because people didn't know a lot about you. And to have the tabloids would get to know stuff about you and you like, damn, they found out my story. But now, you weren't sharing that with them in a sense, but now it's like engagement. Everything's about engagement and who's following you and like that. And I was like, and it was a long time. I didn't want to be on Facebook, Twitter. I didn't want to be on none of that shit because I was like, why do I want to tell somebody where I'm at? Why do I want to tell them what I'm doing? Like I never, I was like, I was exclusivity. Like you don't need to know all that about me, and that makes the allure but that is gone. That's out the window now.
I love this conversation now. Because it used to be like that. It used to be, how little can you be seen? They want to see you on the screen, and then you disappear. Where? They used to tell Brad Pitt not to go out. Don't get paparazzi because the allure is like this. Now it's the opposite. It's like, how many views is your video getting? Yeah. Like, how visible are you?
Can I call TMZ to meet you outside the restaurant you're coming out of?
Right.
Like, like they're setting it up now. And it's like, that started with reality TV, of course, and then it just kind of kept on progression from there.
Right.
And it's like, but it's still like a place because I don't like everybody in my business still to this day.
Right.
So it's like you have to learn to give people what they want or what you're willing to give them. And then, you have to save a lot for yourself because you don't want people involved in your life that way to have an opinion or on everything.
I mean, look what happened 2-3 weeks ago with the episode with Paige.
Yeah.
It went, bro. Everyone had their own opinion on what happened, which was incorrect. And everyone
think pieces, all type of craziness. Right. I'm like, this is so inaccurate. And like, I'm scrolling through TikTok. Like, I'm literally just chilling, scrolling through TikTok, and I'm just seeing my face every 2 seconds, and it's just the same thing. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, these people and they think pieces, man. It's funny though, because it's like a lot of people really be writing this stuff with confidence, and they really do.
Like they know.
But everybody.
They said that I was in love with her. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
You were a little bit, but I mean, that's not big business.
I can't get involved in my man stuff. I wasn't in love with you.
No, it is like that. It's like, and I used to get like getting caught up even on sometimes of the show, and it's like I can't go through all those text messages and Twitters because in my real life I hate being misinterpreted.
Right.
So, but let alone you misinterpret a character and you go into that, I'm like, I'll be going, no, I ain't not responding to that. They don't deserve it. But that also helps your show, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
I mean, we were going so viral when Ghost was airing. Like the stuff that we were doing, me and Michael would be outside at a club, and we don't even do anything. They're just filming me and Michael at the club together. And it would get 5-6 million views because like Braden and Tariq out at the club, episode 8 about to air. Why they're supposed to be on the run? Even stuff like that would go so viral. So me,
even right now, like what, like not right now, but what, in the finale, like leading up to the finale, everybody's like, I'm out here, I'm chilling, doing whatever. They be like, yo, what you doing out here? Ain't you supposed to be on the way to Chicago?
Right.
And I'm just like,
I'm supposed to be dead so right now. Like, they like, what you doing? You alive? Like, bro, that's the character. Like, what are we talking about?
Me personally, and I want to get into that right at the end of the episode. Me personally, I like the way the industry is going because I love having fun. I like talking about it. I like the multimedia of it all. Yeah, like if I was an actor.
Continue my bad.
No. Go on, Mike. Go on.
No, I was gonna say like I generally look because like a lot of people be talking shit, and I answer.
Right.
I answer a lot. And the thing is, like, people think because I got more followers than them or I appear on their damn TV screen that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to respond to them sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we both human, you know what I'm saying? You sharing your opinion, and I'm going to just let you know what the real is, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be like, oh, you shouldn't be answering this. I'm like, bro, we all human, bro. I don't give a fuck how many followers I got. I don't give a fuck how long I've been on TV, bro. It's just certain things you're not gonna say to me without me saying something back to you, bro. I'm sorry. Like we human, bro. And I love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even down to when people, showing love. I love answering when people show love too. You know what I'm saying? So I love the most. Like you said, I love the multimedia. I love just being a person, bro. Like fuck all that. Oh, I'm an actor. I can't converse with you. I can't interact with certain things, bro. Like
you're showing your humanity.
Yeah, sometimes they don't expect you to answer the way that sometimes me and Mike answer.
And at first they say, I didn't expect you to answer, then let alone what you said. Right. Yeah, for sure.
Right. But I do like the way that the industry is going with the multimedia stuff because I feel like me and Mike excel at that kind of like with the podcast or with us as a person, not just the actor. Like sometimes if you're just, let me just audition for this thing. If I don't get it, I don't get it. And then I'm going to go back into I'm like, nah, like I love being outside. I love meeting people and doing the podcast and doing stuff like that. Me and Mike both have YouTube channels. Like if you said an actor had a YouTube channel 10 years ago, they would laugh at you.
Right.
Now the studios are like, well, do you have a YouTube? What's your following like? And it's like, that's what me and Mike excel at. Like our people love us. us as people. So I think that's why I'm starting to like the way that the industry is going.
It's diversifying. You got to diversify. Right. You know what I mean? You can't, acting's just not going to do it.
Right.
So it's like finding other avenues. I think for me, you know, I wrote a book.
Hell yes.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that hopefully. But wrote a book because it was like, I need to tell this story. Like in the interview, I can't tell you everything. Like I make it sound really shallow, but it's really so much depth to it and everything. So good.
When is that
What's
coming out?
What's the name of your book?
Yeah.
So the book is out for pre-sale now on my website, isaackeys.com.
And we'll put a link to the book in the YouTube description. So go pre-order that book right now.
So and it's called The Grind Don't Stop, It Just Changes.
Hell yes.
And it's basically just talking about what we all go through. Yeah, the pivoting, the transition, the time in your life, the most important thing that may happen to you in your life that made you feel like I can't live like this anymore, which usually happens more than once. Something that may have happened to your life was a tragedy or something that may happen that was very positive. But I just talk about all the pivots and transitions of times where I either wanted something and I didn't get it, but then I got something else. The hardships of making it from the NFL to acting, or even how I got into the NFL. But I started off as a kid, my adolescence, of what my life was like then, all the way to present day. And I just break it all down in my stories. And I love it because as I speak about it and talk about it and go across, like I'll start doing my book tour soon. I'll start doing that. But it's like, it's so engaging because it relates to everybody. Not just the black, white. It relates to the middle-aged white woman in Indiana. It relates for everybody from kids all the way to the adulthood. So
did you write it all yourself?
Yeah. So what I did was I have a publisher and we did interviews because my pen moves way slower than my brain.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just like crayon being like, I am NFL player.
I can't do that. You know, and for real, and it really feels like that. But I'm like, my brain is already gone, and I'm like, I'm still trying to write, and you know, we don't write no more anyway, so my handwriting is terrible. You know, so but
my shit is ass.
It's crazy, but it became my therapy because it's like, especially when you're not working at the moment, you're like, okay, you know, and it's felt like time wise. It's like, what am I gonna leave on this earth? What is my legacy? What else can I do? Besides, you know, going to acting I'm not just a football player. There's a conversation about it, but you need to know more about that because I don't want anybody, especially young kids, anybody know that it was an easy process. Right. Like I want you to see the work because right now a lot of people see the glory before the story.
It's all they see because that's all the stuff that makes it to the top on the algorithm. They don't see what we all three of us have gone through and sacrificed and the hours of auditioning and the thousands and thousands of auditions that not only did they not tell us no, they didn't tell us anything.
So they just didn't answer.
Right. So yes, it's important that people see the grind that we've all gone through.
Exactly, and that's the respect.
It goes down to like rappers, bro. Like new rappers nowadays, bro. They all already like rich. They already got bust down chains. They already got $300,000 cars and watches and chains. Like I feel like no rapper that has that like development story, that grind story no more. So it's like everything is just like. Yeah, that's true too. They don't share it. They just come straight to the scene.
I know, because if you think about it's like the SoundCloud era. Like if you think about 50, like 50 did years of mixtapes, got shot, came back, did more mixtapes, did tours.
The whole fucking industry.
And then he started. Now it's just like, you know, like the Post Malone, and no knock on him, but like Post Malone posted White Iverson, and then all of a sudden he was viral, and then it's like, we got the viral. Chain, we got everything. You know what I mean?
We were talking about. My mind started going up. You were talking about how you and Mike would be out, those type of things. Well, you know, Chris and I like to be out too, and it was like,
no, I know.
It was after the first season. I think we had filmed, and we came back to LA. So it was.
I know exactly.
21. So it's okay. So it's 21. We come back to LA, probably like right around in damn, it was 420. It was 420, and that's Chris really indulges in that holiday.
Yep.
I went to meet him at an event. I'm getting him back for telling that story or not.
Please.
Yeah. So I go to meet him at this supposed to be this 420 party up in the hills, right? By the time I get there, I'm with my lady at the time. I got my thing with me. You know, we chilling. You know, like we gonna meet Chris at this party, and it wrapped. It ended. So everybody was coming down the hill. So everybody's trying to get to their cars. They call Uber. So we out there, we talking. Me and Chris loud. You know, we talking. And, you know, Chris being Chris, and we know we talking. I said, you can't just be out here just willy-nilly walking by yourself all the time like that. Like
he does that
all the time. Maybe on any corner, anywhere, and like he's like, nah, I ain't worried, but I got that fire on me. I keep that fire on me. And he got his bag, you know, his Louis bag like that. I keep that fire on me. And I said, okay, well, you got that fire, you know. And so we think nothing of it. We waiting on an Uber. Our Uber's coming, and finally he comes down the road, right? So we go walk down the Uber. He's mad at the Uber, like, you supposed to pick me up right here. He's notorious for jumping on Uber drivers. verbally.
Yeah.
So we go down, we get into this like Cadillac extended Escalade. I'm in the back in the third row. Okay, so I'm there, and then Chris, and then the other homie, and then the driver. And he's like Russian or something else. I'm not sure what it is. So he's not speaking English that clear. We drive maybe 300 feet. Woo, 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 woo. We get flagged. I'm like, what the hell? We getting flagged on the Uber? That's crazy. Hey, bro, what you do? And then talk to the Uber driver. What you do? You do something? And he's like, no, I don't know what's going on. And so we in the car. I'm like, and then I said, oh shit, Chris got that fire on. He got that fire. So I'm like, okay. So we realized this ain't no normal stop. Like they on the walkie-talkie talking like, hey, turn the engine off. Put the keys outside the car.
Oh, hell no.
Man.
This is a whole different type of stop here, bro. I'm still thinking what he did, and then they tell us to get out the car one by one. I'm in the third row. I'm like, man, I got to climb over this seat. I'm trying to tell Chris to put the bag back here with me. And then and my lady's like, no, don't do that. Don't put it by you. Don't put it by you. So I was like, I'm trying to look out for little bro. I'm like trying to make sure we get there. I'm like, but it ain't really nothing I can do in this situation. Right. I'm the last person to get out the car, and I get out, and they got you back. You got to back pedal to them. Like, don't turn around. Got your hands in the air.
Damn, they was on that?
They got guns drawn, everything. I come to find out it's a federal stop or something they call it.
Yeah.
So they pulling it like that. I said, I got a hoodie on. I got a pocket in the front. I'm trying to make sure they know I ain't reach for shit.
Yeah.
My arms here. So they tried. Everybody's in the. They got my lady in the car. She's handcuffed in the back of a car. We just started dating at the time.
Bad rep.
I'm trying to see now. I'm trying to see what her character like. Okay, make sure she ain't no snitch. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she don't blow the spot up. So I'm watching her. Make sure.
She's like, they have that fire in the car.
They had the fire in the car. They had the fire in the car, but she didn't say anything. So she's in the car. They tried to put me in the car. I couldn't get in the back seat, so they sent me on the curb. Sent me over there with bro. Bro still talking about, hey man, well what y'all pull us over for? What y'all doing? I said, Chris, shut the hell up and just sit down, man. Hey man, I'm just saying, hey, these cuffs too tight. Can you do something about these? I'm like, Chris, God damn.
He does not change for anybody.
He doesn't. And then I'm like, bro, like, oh shit. Well, if you sit down, we might get a good picture right now. That's gonna blow the show up. Like we really about this life. we get somebody go by and take this picture. Like, look. You talked about being socially like the tabloids. I was like, we're gonna blow the show up crazy with it, but we didn't get a good picture. But it ended up being, where they ended up finding the gun but it turned out all right though. Everybody was okay. We had to go back to filming later on, and he, it didn't cause any problems, man.
You two got arrested on the side of the road. I remember him telling that.
Yeah. We cuffed up on the sidewalk, man. And
Diamond
it's crazy.
and
420 Diamond and Janard.
CBI boys back at
CBI, baby.
But honestly, like, you better have that shit on. That's all I'm saying.
I'd
rather get caught with it than without it. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta protect yourself, man. But I'm always, because I've been in this game, that life aspect a lot, and I look at it, it's like that's when you get that. That's when you gotta have somebody with you. 100%. It's okay. Don't
but you can't always have someone with you. Like
you can't always.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we have very different eyeballs than Tom Holland. We have very different eyeballs than guys on these CW shows and this and that. So like, you gotta have it on you.
What I found out is that have it on you, but have it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Go
ahead and go through the process of getting it on, because
that license,
you
know what I'm saying?
Like you said, it's gonna affect your life, because especially even, and I hate to say it, but even men of color, we can't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got other actors out there that made some of those mistakes like that, and they can't get a job no more.
Yep. Robert Downey Jr. People like that make those mistakes and they get second chances and this and that.
And I know some other ones in it that a very close circle, and it's like, so it's about trying to do it the right way, and also keeping the right people around you. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm with Chris, like, we have a group.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to keep him out of trouble. He's gonna try to keep me out of trouble, because sometimes it's not situation. It's just some situation you can't avoid. So that's where that person comes in and be like, hey, they can diffuse that situation. Right. But also, how who you around and where you at too.
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep us down, man. Us three.
We live this life, baby. Live this power life.
All right. Before we get out of here, obviously, what the people want to hear. Diamond's dead.
Diamond. Yeah.
What was that day like? What was that called like?
When I went to the show, we always know that nobody's safe in power. Never. We always know that anybody can die. Nobody's safe in that sense. So I've always known that. So I've always went to every episode, bring A game. Let me try my best to do what I can, bring value to the show, get my fan base up, all that kind of stuff. Maybe they can't let me go because my fan base is strong or whatever it may be. And, you know, it came down to where, you know, Diamond and Jannard were starting to have this chemistry where fans were like, I would love to see a spinoff of Diamond and Jannard. I would love to see that. And, you know, we was kind of like, yeah, that'd be a great, you know, spinoff, you know, but it's not up to us. And as the show went on and we got into this, you know, after the strike, we go into this season, finally get to film our season 3. And then they was like, you know what, this is going to be the last season. We knew that. When they said that, we was like, oh, nobody's safe. Like this is you know, no hold bars. This is the Royal Rumble right now, and we'll just see what's happening from there. But I wasn't concerned about it at first. But if it was me, it was me. But of course, when the call did happen, it was weird because I was on the plane. I had went to Phoenix, and I was visiting my father at the time. My father was on his was dying at the time, and I get this call on the plane, you're gonna head back to Chicago, and they say, "Hey, Isaac, it's you know, Gary." He's like, "Well, let me put Kendra on the phone." I'm like, hold on, what we got to bring people onto the phone for? Gary, we talk all the time by ourselves. Like, what we bringing somebody else on the phone for? And he's like, "Hey, you know, we found out in the studios they're not gonna do a Diamond and Jannard spinoff, and it's our last season, and we're going into it, and we need a big pop."
You knew it.
We need a big pop for, you know, episode 9, and I was like, okay. You know, I'm still not trying to buy into, okay, you want to spell this out to me.
So and, Jannard's dying, right?
So you're finally going to take Jannard out. And Diamond going to be sad about that for sure. You can't take his little brother out. And then they was like, you know, Diamond's going to meet his demise. And I said, damn. I said, okay, you know, yeah, well, you know, we know it's part of the game. And, you know, okay, thank you, sir. I was reverting back to when I used to get cut sometimes in the NFL. And I'm like, thank you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity. When you leave the audition room, thank you. Appreciate that too. When I got off the phone, I was like, God damn it, this is some bullshit. And I lean out, but at the same time, the emotions from my father, the emotions from this character that you get invested in. Right. Even though it's 3 seasons, I'm invested in this character.
Right.
You know, so it's like there's some personal issues and relationships with this character at this point. So I'm looking out the window, sweating from my eyes, but I'm looking out the window so I can do that and try to stay that way because it was emotional on 2 different fronts.
Right.
And once I knew it, it was funny because even other people, like the crew got sad. Yeah. Like the crew was like, damn, you know, we know what's going to happen in episode 9. And so that energy was kind of changing. So I knew it was up to me to make sure that energy doesn't change to be low. Right. Keep higher vibrations. So I'm like, let's make this a glorious death. This gonna be we're gonna make this a death. And I'm glad Eve was part of Eve Rivera was our director because he's directed so many episodes in Power Universe that he knows how important this is not only to me but to the universe and to the show. And you know, we took it that way, and Joseph was like, you know, on board with it, and you know, we knew what it was, and we all knew we wanted to make this happen. The caveat to that is, again, I wasn't letting anybody know that what my father was passing. Yeah. And he ended up passing a few days right before we shooting the episode. And it's like right after my birthday too. And it was the point to where, you know, I was like thinking like, wow, how do I go on? How do I shoot this knowing I have this feeling inside of me of, you know, losing my father? And I was like, as you talked about earlier, I was like, we have to use this emotion. If this couldn't be matched up any better in the sense of being able to have that emotion of death of a loved one, to be able to lose a loved one in Diamond, who I love as a character, and, you know, the fans. So I use that. And I mean, we're in a church scene. They got the murals on top of the ceiling, you know, and all these the angels, and our relationship, Chris and our relationship is really like brothers as well. So for us both knowing that, I always say, like, even seeing him get tapped into his character more in depthly was inspiring as well. When he said, I got to take a moment, let me take my moments before we shoot this scene. And he'd go over there and had his headphones on. He'd tell you he was listening to his gospel music, which, you know, Chris ain't listening to gospel music all the time.
Never.
Right. So he had gospel music on. Yeah, he was taking it in his own. I was already locked in and there from every day we shot. I was like, I'm fighting back tears and stuff like that. But I didn't let anybody know really prior to that my father passed, because I didn't want to change the low vibrations 100%. Again. So I didn't let nobody know until it was like after the fact. And, you know, I just used it, man, and it was emotional. Even, I'm telling you, what was more emotional is watching it on TV. Yeah. We had like a little watch party at the house, and I had like family and friends at the house, and we watching it, and it happened. Like, I got emotional all over again, and I shot the shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why it was so in depth to me, but it was like seeing it and then seeing that brother, and like, and watching everybody else's reaction in the room was just like, wow. Like, everybody took a pause, and then we had to have like a conversation afterwards. Like, you know, like a fireside conversation about it afterwards, man. But you know, shout out to the cast, crew, and the writers for just making it such a good scene in a sense.
He went out with a bang, though. I ain't gonna lie, he went out with a bang.
Man,
he's go out like no hoe.
right. That's
the best part. That's the best part.
Yeah, sometimes when you hear about that you're gonna die, you're like, well, how's it happening? Like,
who's doing like,
show
some respect, bro. Like, show some respect.
Yeah,
for sure. So they did that, man, and you know, it is what it is, man. So
yeah.
we go to the next thing.
Well, I love you so much, and I'm so glad that we, got to cross paths.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're locked in for life now. This is like, I always say to Mike, I always say on this podcast, like, it's the most special thing about this universe is the people that we meet and come across. We come across legends. We come across people who were in the NFL. Like, it's just so cool, and I'm just glad that it got to happen. So. Chris is gonna be fucking pissed because every episode we were at his house 3 days ago. He's like, Gianni, I'm fucking sick of the podcast already. He's like, every episode you bring me up and talk shit. And he's like, because he watches. He's part of the 9 a.m. crew, 9 a.m. 12 p.m. crew. He watches right when it drops. He's like, every week I gotta wait for a fucking something about me to.
For damn sure.
Sorry, Chris. But it's gonna happen every episode.
Bro, Chris is such a different type of he does like, bro. It's so much with Chris, bro. Like you can't not bring him up, especially when you talking to somebody that knows Chris, bro. Like it's just inevitable. Bro.
Oh, it's
Chris
every city though. Every city.
Bro.
You know my bro Chris. I like that. Like, Chris, like, yeah, you know my bro Chris,
bro.
Everybody know Chris. He knows everybody.
It's insane.
And we're sitting there talking about him right now. Like, hey man, hey.
Enough, Chris.
I know enough about Chris. My episode.
We love you, bro. If there's anything else, obviously we got the book coming out. We're gonna put that in the link in description. So go pre-order that. If there's anything else you want to promote right now, Instagram, all that.
Nah, man, give y'all flowers, man. I just appreciate y'all, bro. I'm glad y'all doing this. About damn time that I got on the show, and I appreciate y'all, man. I love what y'all doing. Y'all bringing a different light to the podcast era, and I think it's amazing. So we're gonna keep on rocking and keep on watching, and yeah, man. IsaacKeys.com. Isaac Keys, everything. Yep.
Hell yeah. Michael Rainey Jr., Instagram, TikTok. Oh no, you're Where's 22 on TikTok.
Yeah, Where's 22 on TikTok. But I think if you type in my name, it's the same shit.
It'll pull up. Yeah.
Gianni
V. Paolo. Fit Gym, Macro Fit Fitness, Prize Picks, all of it. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Michael, give us one.
Listen, man, the crew has it and you have it. Isaac Keys in the building. Appreciate you, big bro.
Woo!
Love, bro.
Thank you so much for coming on, Isaac. Appreciate it.
Love.
Last one to the airport buys breakfast. Day one.